Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Our Sheikh Yusuf, he's busy today actually. He called me early this morning because tomorrow is election, so he's busy with some of the work. So he said apologies to everyone, and he said, inshallah ta'ala, he will continue from the next week or the week after. And so I didn't have much time to, as usual in the Friday lectures, I didn't have much time to gather any topic, any nice topic to present. So I had to go to work. So whatever I could gather, I thought I'll explain some wisdom and some benefits from the Surah Al-Munafiqoon. So inshallah ta'ala we'll talk about this Surah Al-Munafiqoon, and try to get some wisdom and the concept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this surah. Now this surah is a Madani surah, and this is surah number 63, and this surah is paired with another surah called Surah Al-Jumu'ah, just before this surah. So 62 is Surah Al-Jumu'ah and 63 is Surah Al-Munafiqoon. Before I start the talk, I just want to share how I'm going to do this talk. I'm going to organize this talk in basically three parts. Basically, the first part I'll talk about the concept of nifaq. What do you mean by munafiqun, or what do you mean by nifaq? What does Allah say? What does the Sunnah say about this topic of hypocrisy? The next thing we're going to talk about the story behind this surah. Most of this surah in the Quran has a story behind it, some incident behind it. In Arabic it's called Sha'n Nuzul. So the reason behind the revelation of the surah. So we'll talk about this story, and the story is important because if you know the story, what happened and why Allah revealed this surah, there's two main sides of the story. And when I tell the story, and then when I go through the ayah of the surah, you can match those story and the ayah together, inshallah ta'ala. And then after this, we'll go to a section of the surah. This is small surah. It's only 11 ayah. And but in this 11 ayah, Allah have put the comprehensive idea of hypocrisy, what happened to them. And in the fourth section, Allah made sure that the four main points of the hypocrisy, and at the end, Allah give a conclusion for the believer. So let's start with the concept of the nifaq. The concept of the nifaq actually basically is described in the Quran in various places, starting from Surah Al-Baqarah. If you go through the Surah Al-Baqarah, in the very first 10 or 15 ayah, Allah talks about three kind of people. First, Allah talks about the people who are muttaqin. This is the book for them. The book has, the Quran has no doubt about them, and these are the people who are muflihun, and they are the muttaqun. And then Allah talks about the people who are doing kufr, so the people who are disbeliever. And then Allah talks about those people who in the front say, yes, we believe, but at the back, they don't believe. They mock about the Muslim and everything. So from the beginning of the Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah talks about the nifaq and everything. Not only this Surah Baqarah, Surah Nisa, and Surah Tawbah, all this surah, different section has a different part of the nifaq. But this surah, as you can say by name, is Munafiqun, and Allah put the whole idea of the nifaq in one place, regarding the connecting the incident that we're going to talk about today. And this is the most severe state of the heart. As I mentioned before, the heart, the iman lives in our heart. The faith is a matter of the heart. We can't show faith. My faith is not the same as the other faith. Although we are from the same family, if my brother or something, faith cannot define. You cannot touch the faith, you cannot feel the faith. It is a feeling in the heart. How much you believe, how much you following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the relationship with it, is a matter of the faith. And the state of nifaq is such a severe state that the scholar says that it is something that will take you to the last pit of the hellfire. And that's what we're going to talk about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, if you know in Surah Al-Nisa, shirk is something that Allah will never forget. Allah said in Surah Al-Nisa, Inna Allah la yaghfiru ay yushruk bihi. Meaning Allah will never forget shirk. But we are talking about nifaq. It's different than shirk. So how come? And then Allah said in the same ayah, and Allah wished to forgive everything Allah wish. But the shirk, Allah said in that ayah that I'm not going to forget shirk, I'm going to forget anything less than shirk if I wish. But munafiqun and nifaq is not less than shirk. It is actually more than shirk. And that's why in the Quran Allah said, people who are munafiqun, they are placed in the last pit of the hellfire. Allah didn't say the kufri, the people who do disbeliever, yes, they will be in the hellfire for long, but not in the last place. You know, Abu Jahl, people like Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, they did kufr, they didn't accept Islam, they died on disbelief. But still Allah didn't describe their punishment as the punishment of munafiqun. This is such a disease. And this disease, you know, as our Sheikh was describing last week, the diseases of our heart, this is the most, you know, harsh disease of the heart. And scholars say, you know, there's two kind of, at the end, you know, there are two kind of nifaq it can have. One, there's something that is very clear. So some spy, like, you know, there's some guy, they become a spy in the Muslim community or in the Muslim army or whatever. So he knows that he doesn't believe, but he just disguises himself as a Muslim. So that's the open nifaq, and, you know, he knows that, you know, he's doing it. And something other than this one is the subconscious nifaq. Subconscious nifaq is that people have some characteristic, some signs of the nifaq, and slowly they develop them in their heart. And once they go in such a point, they can never come back from that. And we'll talk about those stages, how Rasulullah said about the hadith, about those stages, what are those signs, and how to deal with those things. So in the signs of the types of nifaq, you know, the signs, as Rasulullah mentioned in a famous hadith in Bukhari, there are 4 signs of nifaq. There are 4 signs of nifaq, and and this hadith in Bukhari, in Muslim both. And he said the first sign, you know, if they promise something, they break the promise. If they talk, they lie. If you trust them with some amana, if you give them, they break their trust. And the 4th thing, when they argue, they use the foul language. When they argue with something, they debate with someone, they become very arrogant, they become very aggressive, and they use foul language. So these are the 4 signs. Now, if a person has nifaq, doesn't mean he will have all these 4 signs. Maybe this 4 signs is just the initial stage. And slowly, if you continue this one, he doesn't repent from this and he practice on this one, then he will go to the state where he cannot come back from the nifaq. The 2 golden rules about the munafiqun or the nifaq. The first rule is, as I said here, no one is secured from nifaq except for munafiqun. No one is. What does it mean? Only if a person thinks that, yeah, I am not a munafiq. That means he's feeling that he's secured from nifaq. But then he's the person who has the main problem. Because no one can be, because this is such a disease of the heart, it can happen to anyone. And also he said no one is scared of nifaq except for a mu'min. Meaning a true mu'min, a true believer will be always scared of nifaq. And that's why we found in the Surah of Rasulullah in the story, and I will go through this story about the munafiqun, that how the Sahaba, they always used to be scared that maybe they have nifaq inside them. And they used to wanted to know from Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, did I do something that is nifaq? And we'll mention 2 stories regarding this very soon, inshallah ta'ala. And also the second rule is that the judgment of nifaq is only for yourself. Meaning, we can't say that this person is a munafiqun at all. You can't believe, even in the Quran, Allah never calls someone munafiqun. Allah never say, Ya ayyuhal lazina nafaqu. Allah say, Ya ayyuhal kafirun. We know the surah, Ya ayyuhal kafirun. Allah called these people kufr. But Allah never said. Yes, Allah said munafiqun. These are the characteristics of munafiqun. That's what they do. But Allah didn't mention that. And now if you go back to the story of the life of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person who was the main leader, who was considered the main leader of the munafiqun, his name was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. And when we did the Sirah talk, we talked about him a lot. He is the one who caused most pain to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when he died, we're not going to go through the whole story. And he is the person who spread the rumor regarding Aisha radhiyallahu anha. Imagine how worst you can go. He spread an evil thing about our mother Aisha radhiyallahu anha, and Rasulullah himself was worried what's happening. He also put in a dilemma. He was in a stress. They don't know what's going, until the Quran came and cleared all the allegations that put by this Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Even that person, when he died, what did Rasulullah did? Did he call him munafiqun? No. He went to do his janazah. He went to pray his janazah. And at that time, Allah revealed in Surah Al-Tawbah that even if Muhammad, you ask forgiveness for this person 70 times. This is the ayah of Surah Al-Tawbah, ayah number 80. If you go and if you read that, Allah says explicitly, if you ask forgiveness for 70 times, I will still not forgive these people. So munafiqun is such a state that Allah will never forget, even if Rasulullah asks forgiveness. This is the Prophet, this is the Rasulullah we're talking about, when because of him, because he was feeling love for Makkah, Allah changed the whole Qibla. Remember, the Qibla was to Masjid al-Aqsa. But when he came to Medina, he was feeling bad for Makkah because his Makkah was behind him. And he looked towards the sky, and Allah changed the whole Qibla for the whole Ummah, for the entire time. But for him, for this, and Rasulullah make dua for different Sahaba different time. As you know, he make dua for this person to be Allah make him shifa. Allah, and the dua get accepted right way. But Rasulullah said, Allah said, even if you ask forgiveness for these people 70 times, they're not going to be forgiven. So how much angry Allah is with this kind of people, that Allah is so strong even with Rasulullah. And imagine, remember in the day of judgment, when Rasulullah will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him a dua, a present, a gift from Allah to Rasulullah, and with that dua, he will ask the shifa for all the ummah. All the ummah of Rasulullah will get shifa with that dua. And these people will be excluded from there. How do you know that? Because if you read the surah before, a few surah before, Surah Al-Hadid, in Surah Al-Hadid there is an ayah where Allah says, people who are munafiqun in the day of judgment, it says, Allah paint a picture of the day of judgment. Where Allah said, in the day of judgment, all the Muslims, because munafiqun basically, they are Muslim. Because to be a munafiqun, you have to be a Muslim. A non-believer cannot be a munafiqun. The definition of munafiqun is you are a Muslim on the outside. You know, a Christian, a Jew, a Zoroastrian, a Hindu cannot be a munafiqun. So they are together with the people in the day of judgment. They are trying to go with the Muslim. And then Allah said in that ayah, in the surah, Allah will put a wall in front of them. And they will exclude them altogether. We don't even see those people. You know, may Allah not make us up from them. You know, we're not going to even see those people in the day of judgment. So this is how much Allah is angry about this one. And this is why Allah said, but still, Allah never ever called them in munafiqun, and Rasulullah never ever did that. You know, when Rasulullah went to the battle of Tabuk, that is the last battle Rasulullah went in his life. In that time, that is the end of the time of Rasulullah. A group of people, a group of munafiqun went with Rasulullah. And nine of those people, they planned at the dark night that they're going to put a mask in their face and they're going to attack Rasulullah and they're going to kill him. And that's what they planned. And that's what they tried to do. But with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, Rasulullah got escaped. They couldn't successful in their plan. And Allah revealed wahi to Rasulullah, give the name of those 9 people. Rasulullah knew these are the 9 people did this. And Rasulullah went to Hudayfa. Hudayfa was one of the Sahaba of Rasulullah. He went to Hudayfa radiallahu anhu and he told his name. And he said, don't tell anybody about these names. He didn't punish them at all. And that time when this situation happened, Umar radiallahu anhu, and by that time, by the Tabuk time, Umar is already been guaranteed Jannah. Because the 10 people who are guaranteed Jannah is already been done. So Umar knows he's going to Jannah. When these names were published and they know that, you know, these names are with Hudayfa, Umar went to Hudayfa and he asked, yeah, Hudayfa, I heard that Rasulullah told the name. Allah gives the name to you. Is my name there? How come Umar asking this name? Because he's thinking that, you know, maybe I am one of them. Maybe I have nifaq in my heart. And then Hudayfa said, no, I promised to Rasulullah I couldn't say who are in this list, but I can only say you are not in the list. So Umar get, you know, escaped. So, you know, he was happy that his name is not in there. But, you know, Sahaba has that feelings in their heart. They always wanted to know what's happening with this one and this one. But for us, that when the judgment comes, you know, to judge someone, if you know someone that every category, that the 4 things that we say, everything match with this person, still we are not allowed to call this brother or call this person munafiqun. Only Allah knows the state of the heart of the munafiqun, and only Allah can decide who is a munafiq and who is not a munafiq. You know, Allah said in the Quran some characteristics of the munafiqun. One of the characteristics is that when they come to pray, Surah Tawbah, Allah said, when the munafiqun comes to pray, they drag themselves. They come very lazily. Now, tomorrow morning you saw some brother walking from the house and he's coming very lazily to the masjid and he said, oh, Allah said in the Quran that if you come lazily, this is the munafiq, this brother is munafiq. No, we are not allowed to say that. Okay? So, whatever sign you can see, no, we are not at any cost. This is one of the golden rule. If you say that, then your heart has some problem. Okay? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned this one in the Quran, different characters just to know us and be careful of our own self. So whenever you hear something about the nifaq, you judge yourself. Whether you have this quality inside you. If you have, how can you get rid of this one? The next section will talk about the story behind this surah. I'm going to go through the story very quickly. And this story is not very big anyway. So after the battle of Badr and Uhud, you know the result of the battle of Badr, you all know, the Muslim win a comprehensive win. You know, this is the first battle of the Muslim, and they win, comprehensively, and they are very glad and everything. But then came the battle of Uhud, and in the battle of Uhud, as you all know, the Muslim had a great defeat, like great loss, because some Sahaba didn't follow the instruction of Islam, and but Allah forgive them and everything. So in Arab land at that time, because Muslim are a new nation, a new tribe, you can say, okay, a new group of people. So the tribes around the Medina, they heard that Muslim, this new group of people with the new leader, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had a great defeat in Battle of Uhud. So now they are weak. And one of the way to earn money or run your tribe is to loot the other tribe or attack the other tribe together. So one of the tribe near Medina is called Bani al-Mustalaq. Bani al-Mustalaq, they planned that they're going to attack the Muslim of Medina after the Uhud, because Muslims are weak now. But Rasulullah got the information through one of his Sahaba, and before they attack, Rasulullah planned, we're going to attack and we're going to capture this tribe. And that's what happened. And the win was very successful, and Muslim win a lot of ghanima, a lot of captive were there. But one of the leader, the daughter of the leader of that tribe, Bani al-Mustalaq, she came to Rasulullah, and Rasulullah offered her the Islam, and she accepted Islam. And after accepting Islam, let all the tribe people go back to their thing, and all the tribe become Muslim. So after that war, after that battle, when the Muslims are coming back to Medina, from that place to Medina, that's when all this story happened. What happened basically, all the Muslims are camping in a place. There is a well there, so wherever there is a well, there's a water, people used to camp there so that they can get water from there. So when they camped there at night, everybody was lining up to go get some water. And in that line there was a Sahaba, his name was Jahja. Jahja was a servant, okay, it's Mawla, in Arabic they call Mawla, of Umar radhiyallahu anhu. So he was a servant of Umar, and he's from Makkah. So people who are from Makkah, we call them Muhajir. Allah called them in the Quran Muhajir. And in the same line, there was an Ansar, and he was one of the leader of the Ansar. The Ansar, the Medina people, the Ansar, they have different tribe. In our language, if you say like they're different council, you can say. And there were 9 council of the Ansar. And he was one of the counselor of this 9 council. So he was a pretty big guy, and the other one is a servant. So by taking the water, they had an argument between two of the Sahaba. Both of the Sahaba had some argument, and Jahja, the servant, he kicked him. The argument got fight, and once he kicked him, the other Sahaba, the Ansar, he called the Ansar. He said, Ya Ahlal Ansar, come, this guy attacked me, come. And this guy, Jahja, he also called Ya Ahlal Muhajir. So, they, right away, they divide themselves. A minute ago, they are all Muslim. They are attacking, they win a battle and everything. They are all Muslim together. Now, just because of one small argument, they are dividing. These people calling, and tribalism, nationalism is still inside. In one of the hadiths, Rasulullah said the 4 things will still remain till the day of judgment in our ummah. And one of the things is nasab. Nasab means taking pride of I'm a Bangladeshi. I feel proud of that. He's a Pakistani. He's an Indian. All these things. Yes, and to some extent, that is halal, no problem in that. But when you bring this thing to fight against another people or look down upon another people, that's when the problem. And that's what happened between the Sahaba. Imagine, even the Sahaba is not free from these things. So they had the battle, and Rasulullah got the news obviously, and Rasulullah said, Innahu kalimatun muntin. Meaning, this word that you are saying, Ya Ahlal Muhajir, Ya Ahlal Ansar, this is a very, very filthy word. But if you think properly, why does Allah say these 2 words are used in the Quran? Allah used the word Muhajir, Allah used the word Ansar, and these are honorable things. These are, if you have become a Muhajir, whatever blessings from Muhajir. But when you use the blessed word in a way that can make fight between 2 people, then they are the most filthy words. So after this thing happened, so Rasulullah say, you guys are what you are doing, it is very bad. So the fight stopped and solved. But in that battle, this guy Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Sulul was present, and some Munafiqoon also was present. And he also got this news. When he got the news, he thought, this is the golden opportunity now. I can make division now. So he called his people and some group of other people in his own tent. And he made a speech to them. What the speech he said? He said, these people from Makkah, they came, they didn't have anything. They didn't have land, they didn't have a house, they didn't have food, they didn't have wives. And we gave them everything in Medina. Why are we giving this to people? They are feeding on our food. When you go back to Medina, we're going to separate them, we're going to kick them out. So he's trying to create a full division between the Ansar and Muhajirun. That was the part. In that speech, in that gathering, there was a small boy, age of 9 years or 10 years old. His name was Zaid ibn Arqam. This boy, he heard what this Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul is taking. He's instigating the people, trying to make division among the Muslim and everything. And in one narration it says, he said the muhajirun, that like a phrase in Arabic, it says, you are fattening your dog and the dog will bite you. I mean, he's called the muhajir, astaghfirullah, the dog, that you are biting, you're giving the food to the dog, and the dog will be healthy and they will bite you. This is what he is saying basically. So this guy, this small guy, Zaid ibn Arqam, he heard this, he ran to his uncle and he told his uncle, this is what this guy is telling. Whatever he understood, he exactly said these things. And the uncle went to Rasulullah and he told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, my nephew, he came to me and he heard this is going on in that tent and this guy is saying these things. So Umar was there and Umar right away said, what he is doing is a treason. It's in the rank, so we should kill him. Rasul, no. How can you kill him? He is a follower of me. If I kill him, people will say Muhammad killed his follower. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then he called the Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul to his tent, to Rasulullah's tent. And Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul came to the tent. And that time they said, no, I never said something like this. It is impossible. I am a Muslim. How can I say like this? Do you believe if someone you came and you're pointing finger at me? I never said something like this. You are the Rasulullah. We know you are Rasulullah. We follow you and everything. So all these things they say. And Rasulullah believed him. Although Rasulullah know that they are lying or something, but Rasulullah didn't do anything and let Abdullah ibn Ubay Salul go from the tent. When the small boy saw this, he feels sad inside. He's thinking, Rasulullah didn't believe me. I told all this thing. He's a little kid. He thought, he's going to get a big punishment from Rasulullah. But he saw that, the Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul is coming out happy and everything. Nothing happened with him. So he feels sad. So when the whole incident happened at night, in the morning, Allah revealed this Surah Al-Munafiqoon. The whole Surah came down and exactly what Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul was telling, the ayah was revealed exactly like that way. And then Rasulullah called that boy, 9-year-old boy, and he said, Allah saddaqa Allahu, meaning Allah make you prove truthful. Allah revealed this surah just to make you prove that you are a truthful and whatever you said, and that is the truth. But even after that, Rasulullah didn't take any action for them. See, Allah proved it through the Quran, but the way Allah didn't mention any name and everything. So Rasulullah let it go, and this is when the surah was revealed. And now inshallah ta'ala we'll quickly go through the surah and we'll see what Allah said in the surah. So ayah 1 to 3, this is I did the section in 4 types, 4 sections. The first 3 sections, as you can see here, Allah said, "Ija ja'akal munafiqina qalu nashhadu innaka la rasulullah." So Allah is saying, when the munafiqun comes to you, they say, innaka la rasulullah. Definitely you are Rasulullah. We bear witness. See, they are coming to Rasulullah and they bear witness. See, when we say la ilaha illallah, what is the meaning of la ilaha illallah? There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you say ashhadu la ilaha illallah, means I bear witness there is nobody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you say I bear witness, you are taking the thing on you. So you are the one who giving the shahada. So here they are giving the shahada, extra shahada, they are doing over the line, saying that Ya Rasulullah, definitely you are the Rasulullah. Then Allah is saying, I know you are Rasulullah. Then Allah is saying, Allahu ashhadu innal munafiqina lakazibun. Allah is witnessing, Allah is giving the shahada that definitely the munafiqun are liars. But if you think properly, what did munafiqun say? They said, you are Rasulullah. Definitely you are Rasulullah. Is that a false statement? No, that's not a false statement. It's a true statement. Rasulullah Muhammad is the Rasulullah, right? That's a true statement. But the part they say, we testify that you are Rasulullah, that part is a liar. So they say into the mouth, but they don't believe in the heart. So from that we know, saying something in the mind doesn't mean it's belief. So saying in your mouth that yes, I am a Muslim, doesn't necessarily mean you are a Muslim. Saying someone, praising someone in front of you, oh Sheikh, you are so nice, your reciting Quran is so beautiful, but in your mind maybe you have something different. So that is the thing that Allah mentioned here. Then Allah is saying, ittakhadhu aymanahum junnatan fasaddu an sabilillah. They have made their oaths as a screen, meaning this shahada that they are giving, they make it as a shield to protect themselves from the Muslim. Meaning, if they don't say these things, they are not protected from the Muslim. So this is their cover-up. This is their cover-up as they are covering up from the other people. They know we are Muslim. Look, we have the label. We are saying, we are doing the testify. And then Allah is saying, Innahum sa'anu ma nakalun. Verily, evil is what they used to do. So whatever they are doing, they are covering up. This is what that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is very, very bad, and they will have the punishment for that. And in the third ayah, Allah is saying, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, meaning they had the iman first. Allah is saying, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا, meaning they had the iman, then they had the kufr after that. So this is the situation that in other places in the Quran, Allah said 2 times the same thing. Amanu, summa kafaru, summa amanu, summa kafaru. Meaning one day they have the iman, one day they have the kufr. Now this is another state of nifaq, and it happens with us also, but that doesn't mean you are in the last stage. Meaning some days we pray and everything, and we feel very good spiritually. That day our iman is high, and some other day we don't even get time to pray properly, or we rush in our prayer, everything. That could happen. But this stage, whatever Allah is saying, this is the last stage of their faith, that they are not believing, they are just doing to show off people. And from this we know that showing off, as our Sheikh mentioned last week, this is one of the signs of the Munafiqoon, the showing off. Some people say, last night, brother, I did the tahajjud, very long. First rakah, I prayed Surah Yasin, then Al-Rahman, and my neck is paining. Make dua, inshallah. So if you say like these things, you are just telling people, it's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever you are doing ibadah. You don't need to say this. You don't need to post it in Facebook or anything that, you did tahajjud last night. Yes, coming to masjid, everybody is looking at you. That is a different thing. We have to come to the masjid to keep the masjid abad. But, doing some things, you have relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you don't bring out in front of the people. If you do it, it doesn't mean you are a munafiqun, but it means that you have the signs of that, and that can lead you to the destruction of the nifaq. Number 4 to 6, Allah is talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and telling him that look, when you look at them, their presence impresses you. And Allah used the word jism. Jism means, as you know, body. And why Allah say body? Because their heart is already sealed. So they have the body, and Allah is saying to Rasulullah, because in Medina, in Makkah, when Rasulullah was there, the only few Muslims are there. Now, whenever, as a human being, when Rasulullah saw some people gathering, coming to the masjid, he feels good, because more and more number of people are coming. But Allah is telling them, no, they are coming to show you off, and they are talking about their things of their own heart. And then Allah said they are musannada. Musannada means a plank of wood leaning with something. So like if you have a piece of wood and you put it leaning against something. So it's not stand by itself, it is leaning against something. That is called musannada. So their faith is leaning against something. So that's why they come to Rasulullah. Sometimes you talk to the big people, like a mayor is here, or like a prime minister or something, you talk to them, other people say, oh, this brother is talking to the prime minister, very often. So he must be very important. So they go and they talk to Rasulullah so that other people think, no, this is the important person. He's talking to Rasulullah all the time. So this is how, so they take lineage. So they base their thing leaning against the credibility of Rasulullah, the leaning against the credibility of the Muslims and the Ummah. And then Allah is saying, when it is said to them, to the Munafiqun, come, Rasulullah will ask forgiveness for you. Okay, at that time what they do? Because they are not in front of Rasulullah at that time, so the ayah 5 and 6, that time they turn their head and say, no, why he's going to, I don't need his forgiveness. So they become arrogant. So they become arrogant and they look down upon the people. That's what he's saying. See, Rasulullah is ready to ask forgiveness for them, but they don't turn their head around, they become arrogant, and they don't go and ask forgiveness from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Allah is saying the same thing here that Allah mentioned in Surah Tawbah in ayah number 6. It is equal whether you ask for forgiveness for them or don't ask forgiveness. Allah will never ever forgive them. Verily Allah guides not people who are fasiqin. These two ayahs 7 and 8, these are the two ayahs exactly related with the incident that I mentioned before. In one of the ayahs, these are the two statements of the Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Exactly this is how he mentioned. He said, they say to one another, do not spend in front of, for the people who are close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul is saying, the people who are close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and who are close to Rasulullah, Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, these are the people that are close to Rasulullah. Most of the Muhajirun answer. So Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul is saying, don't spend on those people who are close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah is saying, what are you going to spend? Whole world khazana. Now Allah says, khazana to Allah say here, everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they don't understand what Allah is trying to say there. And in the second ayat, they said, if we return to Al-Madinah, see the same thing that Abdullah ibn Ubay said, if we return to Al-Madinah, indeed the more honorable meaning they think themselves as a more honorable group of people, the Medina people. We will expel, they are from the meaner people, meaning the Muhajirun. So exactly same thing Allah quoted in the ayah as mentioned by the leader of the Munafiqun. So these are the whole three stages of the Munafiqun. The first stage we talked about, they come to Rasulullah and they say something that's not in their heart. So in the mouth they say they believe, but in their heart they don't believe. In the second stage, they come in the presence of Rasulullah, but they lean against his credibility. They just want to talk to him so that their status is intact. So people may think, no, they are not bad people, they are the right people, they are in connection with Rasulullah. That's what their nature. And in the third, their nature of talking or looking down upon the people of Muslim, and this is how they talk. They look down, they try to make division and everything. And the third, the last passage of this surah, ayah number 9, 10 and 11. Here Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tulhikum amwalukum wala awdalukum an zikrillah. And this is the advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the believers now. So now you know the concept of nifaq. You know the nature of the munafiq people. So what is the advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, usually you expect that, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, don't be like this. Or don't be a munafiqun. But Allah didn't say that. What did Allah say? Allah said, don't, be something. Don't make your money and your children make you away from the remembrance of Allah. Zikrillah. Make you away from the remembrance of Allah. Like what is zikr? In regular language, when you say what is zikr, you say, brother, zikr means Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, Astaghfirullah. All these are zikr. No, here that doesn't mean here. Zikr means remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you become humble. And if your money, your children doesn't make you humble, then that things are making you away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning like if your money is, you're spending for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala maybe, you're giving charity, you're building masjid, but that makes you arrogant, that brings kibr inside you, then that money is taking you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By children, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mean here, it's not like giving time to children. It doesn't mean that you have to make children half-phase and everything. No, you can still go with your children to the park. You can still take him to the soccer game and everything, no problem. But you have to remember, when your children become a component for you, a thing, a resource for you to become arrogant, that's when the problem. There are people when come to masjid even, and we think he's come for the salah. He's come for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he's talking about his son or his daughter, my son is a doctor, my son is, and this becomes arrogance inside him. He's not humble with his son. With the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him, he's not humble. And that means is taking him away from this. And then Allah said in ayah number 10, Wa anfiku mimma razaqnakum. Allah saying spend. And anfik is come from the infaq. Infaq means spend. And infaq is the same root from nifaq. So the solution for nifaq is infaq. So if you want to kill the nifaq, you have to do infaq. You have to spend. And spend what? You spend not only money. Allah says, spend mimma razaqnakum. Whatever I give you, spend from there. And Allah said, when should you spend? Before the time runs out. Allah is giving a picture here. Allah is saying the time will come when you will ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, my time is up. Give me one more time, I will go back, I will spend this time according to you said, and I will be from the Salihin. But Allah said in the last ayah, there is no time. Allah won't give any time. When the time is, the approved time is come, the day of judgment is come, when your death is come, that is the end of the thing. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I mentioned before, that by spending means, it's not only money. If you are a smart guy, if you are an architect, do something with your school, with your skill that can bring something good to the deen, to Islam. If you are a good programmer, do something that you can bring something to Islam. If you are blessed with so many children, bright children, smart children, make them something that can bring good to the Islam, that can benefit the people. And that's how you can get rid of the nifaq. So the solution to the nifaq is, in fact, you go and you spend whatever gifts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll finish it here. In a short time, whatever I request all of you, brother, go home and read the Quran, because when you read Quran or memorize Quran, we have 3 levels of understanding basically. There's one level, we go through the Quran without any understanding. We just read the Arabic letters and some meaning, that's it. The second level, we understand, we try to memorize. The third level, the best level is, you try to understand try to get the information and try to put it implemented in your life as much as you can. Nobody can be perfect, but we should all try to get the things from the Quran. That is the purpose of the Quran. It is not the book that we just only read in the Ramadan time or do a khatama or something like this. Try to get as much as you can and put in your life and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah make it easy for all of us to understand the Quran and implement in our life. Jazakallahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.